guys, I'm Lisa and welcome back to What the Bake. This week we will be making a rainbow chocolate sphere cake. I'm so excited! So we are going to color white chocolate to make the colorful spheres, make funfetti cake, and let's not forget about the delicious buttercream icing. Now before we get started, if you guys like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get baking. We're first going to start with the colorful spheres because they need a little bit of time to set. For this recipe, I'm going to use 300 grams of white chocolate, but I'm going to put 4 blocks to the side because I'm going to use that at the end to put all the spheres together. Melt your white chocolate in separate bowls or cups. And then we're going to color it pink, green, yellow, red, orange, and blue. To create a nice effect on my cake, I decided to use 2 different molds. The one is for small spheres and the other one is to make slightly bigger spheres. So you fill your mold with a little bit of the melted chocolate, and then using a spoon, you smooth it out to the sides. We want our spheres nice and thin, but make sure that it's not too thin, otherwise it'll break. You can also use a knife or an offset spatula to scrape off any excess chocolate. We're going to put our molds to the side and let the chocolate set at room temperature. Do not put it in the fridge because otherwise the chocolate structure is not going to be strong and it's just going to melt in your hands. Next, we'll move on to the funfetti cake. If you want the recipe, you can check out the description box below. And make sure to double the recipe to get a nice big cake. In a large mixing bowl, you will beat the butter until it is light and creamy. Add your castor sugar and mix well. Then we can add our eggs one by one. Add vanilla for flavor, your milk, and self-rising flour. Mix well until all the ingredients are well combined. Lastly, to make it a funfetti cake, you can add your sprinkles. And we're going to use a rubber spatula or a spoon to mix in the sprinkles. Prepare a baking pan with some baking spray and baking paper. I decided to divide my cake batter into 2 cake pans to make sure that it bakes evenly and a little bit quicker. Bake at 150 degrees Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes. When your chocolate has set, you can carefully pop them out of the mold. Then, using a hot pan or pot, you can melt the chocolate just a little bit and then put them together to create the sphere. Using your finger, you can smooth out the sides. Allow to set at room temperature. Lastly, we can make the buttercream icing. In a large mixing bowl, beat the butter until it is light and creamy. This will take around 5 minutes. Then you can add half of your icing sugar. Mix until the icing sugar has dissolved into the butter. Then you can add the rest of your icing sugar, vanilla, and a little bit of milk. To assemble our cake, we're going to add a dollop of our icing on top of our cake board. And then we can start stacking our cake, adding a layer of buttercream between each layer. The next step is our crumb coat, so you can use your offset spatula to smooth your buttercream icing and then use your cake scraper to make it nice and smooth. You don't have to worry if your cake isn't completely covered with buttercream icing. This is just the crumb coat. We'll add the final coat a little bit later. Let your cake rest in the fridge for about 20 minutes. When your cake is nice and cold, you can add your final layer of buttercream icing. Now we want to make sure that our final coat of buttercream looks beautiful. So don't be afraid to really take your time and make sure that all the sides are smooth. Let your cake rest in the fridge again for about 20 minutes. While your cake is resting in the fridge, we are going to assemble all of our spheres together. So remember that chocolate I told you to leave aside? We are going to melt this now and put it in a piping bag. Then we're going to keep adding a little bit of that white chocolate and kind of gluing the spheres together. Now we want to make sure that our structure is nice and strong. So take a break every couple of minutes to allow the white chocolate to sit at the bottom before you continue building. And then for the final part, I'm so excited, we're going to add our chocolate spheres on top of our cake. And there you guys have it, my rainbow chocolate sphere cake. I'm so excited to finally be able to share it with you guys. I really wanted to make a showstopper cake. Now, as usual, if you guys like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And if you maybe have an idea of another showstopper cake that I can make, let me know in the comments down below. Have fun baking!